This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. How you doing, man?
Super duper.
That's what we say every single time. That's so dumb.
I gotta do better. I'm doing real good, man.
Hey, everyone. What did y'all think about the 4th of July podcast?
We loved it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
amazing.
Yeah, God bless the USA.
Yeah, we almost quit listening to your podcast.
After the all weekend, it says before the 4th, all weekend, you know what song was stuck in my head?
I'm proud to be an American.
No,
Lee Green one.
No, it was Toby Keith.
When America. Wait, how's it go?
my daddy served in the army. Where he lost his right eye, he flew a flag out. That's the one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That one's been in my head all weekend long.
Dude,
man.
you started singing that. I'm ready to go to war. Let's go.
Dude, what a song.
Yeah.
He wrote it after
Statue of
9/11.
Liberty started shaking her fist. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I know. It's such a great line.
I'm ready to go
so
stomp
cool.
some bad guys. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the American way. Yeah. Yeah, what a fun song.
Yeah.
I say fun song. It wasn't fun. That was a crazy time.
Well, I've lived through a lot of crazy times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this reel the other day. It was a millennial thing, or like it might have been a Gen X or millennial or something. It's like we'd like to not live through any more history, please.
Could we stop being through historic times? These are historic times.
I'd rather not.
I heard there's this ancient curse. It's like, may the times you live in be interesting. Yes, that's the curse.
Yeah, it is, man. I just
you
want
want to
some
live
peace.
in a time period nobody reads about.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, man, they just went out and farmed and ate and nobody starved and it was great. Nobody.
It's like the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the 80s.
And the 90s. 80s and 90s. Not historic times.
Well, we did have the Gulf Wars in the 90s.
Everything is historic in a sense, you know what I mean? But like,
we didn't do squat.
It wasn't shaking up the entire...
Dude, we didn't do nothing in the 80s except for make pretty good rock and roll. And no, we didn't. That was the hair metal era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was rough in some ways.
There's good stuff in the 80s.
Aerosmith was good.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses at the end. Bon Jovi was fun.
Yeah, Bon Jovi. I mean, there's Skinner stuff. They were doing stuff in the 80s.
I remember, Bon Jovi was good, man. Bad Medicine might still be on my workout track. I'm not telling you for sure if it is.
My workout track is so weird.
Mine is too.
I don't go for the hard rock stuff, you know. I like easy listening music.
But then I also have easy listening. Same with my running.
Yeah.
Like my running tracks or whatever, I might have Inner Sandman in there and I'll be like, oh yeah. And then Country Roads comes up next. And I'm just like, oh, Country Roads, baby. Let's just
We have
cruise.
a mix that we are like a little house mix that we run all the time at the house. It's called Folk House Mix.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of like Americana stuff that we like. And me and Steph have both like added into it. And we turn it on when we're out there playing in the pool all the time. And Steph makes fun of my music relentlessly because I'm okay with a dirge.
Oh yeah,
I like a dirge.
Yeah,
I like a slow, soft,
tell
chill.
me your favorite dirges.
I don't know. I got lots of them. You know, it's like
you don't like Broken Halos, and that hurts my feelings.
That's not a dirge.
What is it?
That's more like a ballad. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought a ballad had to be about somebody.
No, a ballad is a style of music.
I thought a ballad was like you out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
That might be a ballad.
Yeah,
but it's a style of it's like a style of a song that it's.
I like ballads.
Yeah, I like ballads. I like dirge. I like it all. As
you got to tell me a dirger. I don't know.
I don't know. Like gosh, now now, with or without you is almost like a dirge. Right.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, that's like a dirge. Some versions of it, not the U2 version though. The U2 version is more like
Wait, there's more than one version of With or Without You?
Yeah, like an acoustic version or something.
Are you thinking like the Dang It Bobby version?
Yeah, that's right. The Dang It Bobby version. You're not going to find that one out there on the interwebs.
No.
Because that's our band. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're like the Lone Bellow?
Yes.
You like the Lone Bellow?
I think I've heard of them.
They have some.
They're kind of like
just,
the White Buffalo. Those guys got some good
Yeah,
songs.
okay.
You know White Buffalo?
I think you've showed me White Buffalo.
Man, they're
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah. The Lone Bellow's neat. There's awesome music, but they have some dirges and stuff. And that, I think that was what had come up on our playlist. And Steph was like, no, this is not. Because it's not fun. You know, it's not like,
fun.
But it's fun for me.
It's like, it's sort of like liking breakup songs a little bit.
Yeah. It's weird. We were talking about that the other day. It's like, some of these, that song, you say I'm crazy, but you don't think I know what you've done. You know that song? Oh, it's like I don't know who sings it. It's a pop song.
Oh, it's Hootie and Blowfish.
No. But I can't relate to those lyrics at all.
Tuesday's Gone is like a really great breakup song.
I don't relate to it.
But I love that song.
Yeah.
Of course, I love, if you say, oh, that's Skinner, 99% chance I'm like, that's great stuff.
They're one of the best.
Of all times.
Top 10, definitely.
God, I wish I
Maybe
could have
top
been
5.
sitting in Muscle Shoals when they were just jamming.
You'd probably be disappointed.
No, I wouldn't.
It's weird, man.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
Let me have my dream.
Yeah.
Don't be crushing my dreams over here.
There's something magical about the final mix and not very unmagical about the individual tracks.
You know, I've been in bands. And they tend to be catty. They do a little bit. Did you know? Musicians are a little catty. Just so y'all know out there.
I know.
Musicians are they're very sensitive in general with their art.
Yeah.
So if they get critiqued
Not all
a
of
little
them.
bit, not all, but a lot.
Yeah.
If you get them critiqued, they start getting a little.
I like.
And so
yeah.
it would have been so disappointing to go into Skinner and they get done with Freebird and they're like, "Hey man, what were you doing with the hi-hat back there, dude?" I was like, "Are you just trying to make me go deaf back there or something?" Man, all you were doing was playing the same 3 notes over and over on your electric. What are you doing over there? And then they're just pouting the rest of the day.
Their
It's
story
like,
might be different.
My
I mean, they
for sure.
They might have had the magical.
There is a reason
take and
that
stuff.
every great band broke up. It's because they all got sick of each other.
I mean, yeah, you're stuck in a bus with each other for months on end,
and you're always
know?
just snapping. Like Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah.
Snap, snap, snap.
That's not a fun life.
No. But they got over it later and they're like, man, maybe we should get the band back together.
We sure did make a lot of money with that music.
Yeah. and then somebody shot John Lennon.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Eagles got back together for the money.
They did. I remember seeing I guess it was a TV show they did
Really?
in the.
Did they ever tell people what
2000s
Hotel
or something.
Is, or are we just going to
It's
keep
hell.
wondering?
That's
Is it hell?
That's what I always heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you can
what- I
check
mean,
out anytime you like, but you can never leave?
Yeah.
Well, how you check out?
I don't know. You can't
I
leave.
thought it was like about suicide or
Oh,
something.
really? Everyone always just told me it was about hell, so I was like, okay.
It
whatever.
was your youth pastor. He's like, if you run it backwards, you probably shoot yourself.
No, I didn't go to that kind of church. That
Oh,
wasn't, yeah,
man.
that was
When I was little, I remember them coming in and telling us, like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff, was if you run it backwards, just like you're going to shoot yourself or smoke.
This
marijuana
wasn't
or
my.
something.
I know that happened with a lot of people, but that wasn't my experience. Now, it wasn't like.
Well, you weren't at church when you were little.
No, when I
also,
was little, but I was a teenager. I was a 12, 13-year-old,
yeah,
right?
but dude, I hit
And
the
that's when they started doing
but
it.
no, I hit satanic panic right in the belt buckle
Yeah,
coming
you
through.
did. You
I'm
did.
telling you, man.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Jesus was coming back every night. Every time you go outside and the full moon was yellow, I'd be like, oh man, Jesus is coming back tonight.
When I was
Which would have been great.
Yeah.
I mean, I was scared back then, but now I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God.
there was like a big push about music. It wasn't that rock music was satanic. No one ever
No.
said stuff like that. It was more about like secular music is not good for your soul because
yeah.
it's not, you're not like pouring in positive things, things that like enrich, theologically and
Yeah,
stuff.
little did you know all your favorite CCM guys were failed rock and roll stars and were living lascivious lives.
That's right. Yeah, Michael Tate over here. Yeah, golly.
You had to go there.
I did. I went there.
Dang it, man. Come on,
My
buddy.
God's not dead. He's surely alive. Like, yeah,
Knapp,
but he's
man,
also, yeah.
turned gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, we didn't know. But,
Yeah.
well, we got tricked, man. I wish I'd. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, buddy. If you played that when I was a kid, you were practically a devil worshiper.
Yeah.
Look who's here.
Hey, Wesley, come on
Wesley,
in. Yeah, come around. Everyone can see you. Hey, guys, we have a special guest on the podcast today. This is Wesley Knight.
Yeah.
He's our favorite church member.
Favorite?
By far.
Look, and because he brought us gifts.
You guys don't stand a chance against Wesley. Y'all
What? This was yours.
Say hey.
What's up?
He brought us monsters.
We're not sponsored by Monster.
No.
But we do appreciate you, Monster. We appreciate you, Wesley.
Yeah.
He's out here cutting our church grass.
Yeah.
Like a good boy.
Like a grown man.
Yeah.
He's like 6'20".
Yeah.
You can't call him that.
Yeah, he's much larger than me. Yeah.
Okay, we're done embarrassing you. Thanks, buddy.
See you, buddy. Have a great day.
Hey, you didn't get the cold ones? We take back everything you said. We said, no, I'm just messing with you, man. Yeah, they're cold. They're cold.
Oh, man. That's a good dude.
Yeah, I love him.
Stellar.
Did he not? He paid for those himself?
You gave him a 10?
I don't remember.
You don't know what you gave him.
I got so much money, I just don't even know.
You're so rich.
I'm so rich. It's ridiculous.
Oh, man. That's awesome. So, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. If tomorrow you became a rock star.
Oh.
All right. Tomorrow you're a rock star. What's the title of your number one hit?
My number one hit?
Yeah.
Gosh. I'm going to have to think about that. Do you have one queued up? Like
No, I literally just thought of that question right here on the spot.
I don't know. It'd be...
We were talking about rock and roll.
It's got to be rock and roll. I think
Yeah.
I could come
I
up...
mean, be anything.
I think I could come up with a country band song title better. It'd be like my old smelly T-shirt or something. I don't know about rock and roll. I'm just... Let's just be honest.
Here's mine. Summertime Kids. I just got it. That is a...
Is that rock and roll?
It's a folk country hit.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm at the age where I'm not rock and roll anymore. You know?
Oh, you're definitely not.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't think of anything. It'd be
You're like rocking chairs, which
yeah,
you are.
rocking chair or something, man. I'd be like, oh, can you get your gains or something? Yeah.
So we talk about the Bible on this podcast.
Sometimes we do.
We get there eventually.
Yes.
And we're so grateful that whoever listens to this podcast, the dozens, the tens.
I got a feeling we're like on times 4 at the first. It's like,
That's
and
okay.
They hear numbers. And
I don't
they stop.
mind that.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I listened to my
It gets
wife.
us in the groove.
I listened to my wife listen to us on times 2 the other day. This is a thing people do.
What?
People listen to podcasts on double speed.
Wow.
I don't understand how they compute it. It's like listening to the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. It changes pitch.
I know.
Yeah.
I like the timings.
Everything is going to pitch up.
I suspect she's not listening. Oh, I shouldn't say that. She's going.
Amy Williams.
I suspect she's not listening.
Hey, how about Amy Williams? I'm calling you out. Leaving me out to dry yesterday in church. On that last song. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to come in and go, "We do," and she wasn't there.
Man,
and I had to do it.
You know what she was doing? Slacking off watching people's kids.
Oh yeah, slacking off. We're very grateful for you, Amy. You do so much wonderful things.
I'm so grateful for you too.
So
she does my laundry, man.
She does your laundry
most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Almost always.
Yeah,
she does.
Right on.
I think she's tired of it. We've been married 22 years. She's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Steph is so patient with me. I have no idea. Yeah. If she is tired of doing something for me, she has never told me.
True. Now, I tricked her because she was a stay-at-home mom till our youngest went to school, and then she started teaching, which is a great deal. So, like, when you're staying at home, you know, you're going to do the laundry.
Yeah.
And that just sort of formulated that habit in her.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I gotta figure that. I gotta quit that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Amy. You don't do my laundry, though.
Amy doesn't.
I do my own laundry usually.
That's good.
I'm like, but it's like, because I'm like neurotic about it. I'm like I got.
There's always one in the relationship that is, I think.
I want, as soon as they get out of the dryer, I want to pull every shirt out.
Yeah, that way they don't get wrinkly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steph has a million things going on all the time, so she's fine with basket holding zone
That's
for
right.
a while.
And you don't get to tell her, get my laundry out.
And
quicker.
I'm not
That's
doing
right.
that.
I would never do that.
Oh my
No, that's
gosh.
stupid.
I just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. That's better. Yeah. See, I don't care.
I try to find anything I can kind of
I
take off
noticed
her
that
load.
one of the positive things about our relationship is that Amy knows the stuff I don't care about. The downside of that is I'm supposed to. That's the problem. You know, it's like I should care about this and I don't. Like, look at this thing. And I'm
Balance
like,
is important.
Oh.
Like everyone can't be an expert in anything. Like our relationship, I handle all the medical stuff for Archer. I just do that.
Yeah.
Because I do it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And so it's a good balance. You know, she does lots of things, caretaking things. And
Yeah,
stuff
I mow the yard.
Yeah.
It's 3 acres.
Yeah.
And I don't ever think, man, Amy ought to be out here on this mower.
Yeah, that's right.
What is up with
I
that?
take the trash out. I don't want her
I take
taking
the trash
out.
out.
It
Amy
would
won't.
anger me if she did.
If the further she'll go, I mean, I'm not saying she never does it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But she'll like tie it off in the can so that nobody else will try to stuff anything in there.
That's a good move.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I better grab that.
Yeah.
But like,
Hey, Steph, you need to do that more.
but
Yeah,
isn't
that's a
isn't
good move
isn't
right there.
Isn't that funny though?
Evie will just keep on like
She
piling
keep
things.
piling it up,
Yeah,
it'll be piling
Well,
up.
I'll walk over to the trash and there will be a little girl's cup and spoon sitting in the trash because she just goes on autopilot sometimes. Evie will throw away all of her dishes.
Well, I
If we'll let
saw
her,
a
she
meme
will
the
throw
other
them
day,
all
and
away.
this mom was on there, and she goes, "I don't know who needs to hear this, but your kids are 100% throwing away your spoons." Why do we have 2 spoons?
Man, that is so true.
Yeah.
Evie is a spoon fiend. Fiend. Yeah.
Yeah, she's fiend.
Yeah. We said we were going to talk about
We
the
are
Bible.
going to talk
Yeah,
about
we're
the
going to
Bible.
get there.
We do love it. This is why we're so crazy, because we have so much joy.
That's right.
I love the Bible.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about numbers.
We're
You
gonna-
know you love the Bible when you're like, yay, numbers.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about numbers.
Yeah.
Although I did just confess to you earlier that I'm
Sick
getting
of it.
kind of tired of
Yeah.
being in numbers.
Let's get out of here.
Let's finish it up.
Turn out the
Yeah,
lights.
I'm not sick of the word of God.
Oh, you are, you sinner.
Dadgummit.
What's the matter with you?
I'm just like, I want to move on.
Yeah.
I want to get to the rest of the Old Testament.
Yeah, I'll tell this to our listeners. This is about the Bible. So we've preached through Jonah. It was good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
Jonah, didn't you?
So fast, though.
So fast. It's only 4 chapters.
Yeah.
But so difficult. Like
Yeah.
when we've popped over into Ephesians and like Paul does an outline for you.
Yeah. The
I
New
don't
Testament.
know why people
Yeah.
do. I do know why.
Yeah.
But as a practice, only topical sermons, you're just making your life dumb. Like it is so much easier just to preach what the Bible says.
Oh, yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
preach the Bible. Like
Just
stop
go through the thing. Yeah.
stop trying to talk about whatever you're thinking about. Just let Paul tell you to tell.
They're trying to be helpful.
Yes.
They just,
But
it's
you literally.
it's all influences. If you were only told by
Well, I
these
was.
guys,
That's how I grew up, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm so different. Like we
Yeah.
have a different background and stuff. Like I've only ever heard, like in all of my training and stuff, never do topical. Just teach
That's
through books
because
of the Bible.
they figured it out in like 2000 or
Yeah,
so.
I missed that controversy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
dodged the bullet. And so anyone that was just doing topical stuff was really like, it was looked down upon, like y'all are doing a disservice to your church.
I think every once in a while you should do it, but like one of the mistakes when you're a Bible preacher or even a Sunday school teacher, just listen to me a second. You have no idea what you're talking about when you're talking into the life of someone else. You absolutely don't know what they need to hear.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't.
right.
You
and
don't
that's
know.
what
You
that's
might
the
think you
assumption.
do.
That's the presupposition is I
Yeah.
need to tell
We've
people
gotta-
what they need, what they need.
A lot
you
of
know?
times, what you're doing is chasing symptoms and not root problems.
Yeah.
It's like thinking that when someone has a fever, that's what's wrong with them,
That's right.
and that's not the case. It's rarely the case with sin.
Yeah.
That sin is the symptom of some other problem.
That's right. So, say you have like in your church, you just noticed in the last 3 months, I got several counseling calls about marriage. I need to do a marriage series.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Like that's a symptom. Like what's the
They're
real
sick of their
yeah.
marriage. They don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, that's not going to be the answer, man.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. There's some other stuff going on there, and it might be different for every single one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably much deeper. You get to pride, get to the other things, you know.
Yeah, you might need a quit being a butthole series.
Yeah, that's right. We preach that every week here.
Yeah,
every single week.
I don't put it like that for the pulpit, but like when my marriage has gone wrong, it's almost always, oh, I'm a butthole. That's what I've been ignoring my wife, and I've just been not nice at all and unpleasant to live with, and it's causing a problem at my house. Can you imagine? It's like, yeah.
That's the answer.
You know, sometimes it's like, I have counseled people and be like, how much sleep are you getting?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know. I've been real busy. It's like, go to sleep.
Just sleep. Man.
Go get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord. I just pretend. God spoke to me and told me you need 8 hours. I would never say it like that. But I would trick people if I could. I said, if you don't think that'll affect your marriage, just stay up for the next 3 days
a couple weeks
and
ago,
try to talk to somebody.
A couple weeks ago when we were in Jonah, we got to I don't know, I can't remember. It was a Sunday that you were here, but I was preaching.
Yeah.
And I said something like, God told me to tell you this thing. And I was kind of sitting there, I was being tongue in cheek with it. And I was just going to read a portion of the Bible. And a couple of people I was like watching out there,
they were like,
they were along for the ride.
Yeah.
They were like, oh no. What is about to happen?
Yeah.
They thought I was about to like go full prophet or something.
No.
Yeah. That's funny.
Have you ever had anybody tell you, God told me to tell you?
Yeah. I don't like that.
I tell them they didn't.
I said, you had a stomach ache or something.
No, I just say, just tell me what you want to say.
That's right.
Stop blaming God for stuff you want to say.
Well, they'll
I would actually listen to you.
They'll say things like, well, I just had a feeling about this. I was like, that's
peace
you.
about it.
Yeah, peace about it. That's
Oh.
you, pal. I mean, I like peace. I like to not have my conscience bound about my decisions. That's good. That doesn't mean it's a yes from God. That means you don't have a conscience issue with it.
Hey, and look here. Look here. If we're buddies, it doesn't even have to be God told me to tell you. You could just tell me. I'll listen to you. I think you got
I
good sense.
assume that God is using you to tell me.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you.
But I don't want to make it sound infallible because I've given bad advice.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
The assumption is, like in the church, is that these are all people filled with the Holy Spirit. You should listen to them.
That's the whole point of them being
it really
your friend.
is. Yeah.
You know? It's like, hey, that's probably dumb.
Yeah. You should listen to them. You're going to do better with that.
You'll be surprised if you'll get you a friend that knows the Lord, and or two of them, more than one.
Maybe more than
and
one.
you say, you know what I'm thinking about doing, and you'll say it, and then they both look at you like you're an idiot. It's because you're being one.
Yep.
And you've lied to yourself. That's what it is.
So true.
And
You should all find
dear
a friend
listener,
like that.
every single person has had this experience. I'm sure of it, unless you've been living in a cave, where your friend has told you they're about to do something, and you're like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, why would you do that? Like, this is so on the face of it, obviously dumb. The thing is, you're not smarter than them. They're just self-deceived.
That's right. They're just blind. Everyone's got blind spots.
Everybody, because they want to do their
them.
sin.
I got
want to
them.
do my sin. I like my sin. I want to do that.
Yeah. It's just, everyone's got blind spots.
And that happens in Numbers.
It does.
Let's talk about it.
Hey. So we're into chapter 27. Where are you at? You're deeper.
Well, I went through, you know.
Okay. Chapter 27. So we just got finished with this whole Balaam Balak thing. Yeah. And man, we're at this is like episode, what is it, like 49 or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Is it 47? I don't know. We're we're almost at 50. We've done this for a full year. We've got to celebrate that. Woo! 2 weeks ago, we was our 1 year anniversary.
Nobody sent us cake or nothing.
Nope.
But Wesley brought us monsters.
That's about the same.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to the podcast.
Yeah.
Chapter 27, we just done the Balaam thing where Balaam tries to curse Israel and can't because of the Spirit of God. And then there's a census that follows that, another census. And this is something that happens in the book of Numbers to kind of like see, are we ready yet to enter the land, right? That's kind of like the idea. It's is the generation still here that is being punished, judged. And it's also something that they do to see if they're going to be ready for war, because they take these censuses before it's time to attack and go to war.
Figure out how many troops they got.
That's right. And lo and behold, we're actually about to do a bunch of war here as it kind of comes out of the census. The first thing, though, that happens is chapter 27. There's a neat situation about inheritance that I think is worth at least bringing up, mainly because of some of the, what is the word you use? Redaction. Right, like redaction kind of stuff that people do about the Bible, the assumptions that they have that the Bible is against women or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Is that the word redaction? What's
No,
that
redaction's when you go back and
Yeah,
you
that's
change
not
something.
right. What's the word I'm thinking of? I can't think of the word.
Misogynist?
No, well,
Yeah.
no, that's what
it.
that's the assumption that people have about it. But no,
Patriarchal?
I'm not thinking about. I'm thinking like this. The incorrect view of something in the past is what the word is. Whatever. I can't.
Oh,
think of the
it's
word.
not like real. It is
Yeah.
redaction, so it's a
Yeah.
change of history.
Yeah, it's like their own redaction of history that they assume that the Bible, like the assumption, the presupposition a lot of like secular people have about the Bible is that it's misogynistic,
Yeah.
against women, doesn't do anything for them ever,
Yeah.
And that's like what this passage kind of addresses that in a unique way. I think it's important to bring out to show that that's not true, especially for the day and age that the Bible was written. So, chapter 27, verse 1, you have the daughters of Zelophehad.
There you go.
What a name.
Perfect.
Zelophehad.
That's exactly how you should have said it.
That's what a name that
Yeah.
is. They approached. Zelophehad was the son of Heifer, son of Gilead. Heifer.
It's
So the-
H-E-P-H-E-R.
Yeah, it's Heifer.
I know it. You know what a heifer is, don't you?
I do. It's a
Okay.
female cow.
Well, it's a female cow that has not had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go.
Son of Machir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, right? These were the names of his daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Nagla, Milcah, and Tirzah.
Hogla, right?
Yeah.
Hogla.
Hogla. What a name.
Oh, man.
These poor people.
There was no hogs then.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, that's
not
right.
the
They didn't
same.
eat pigs, so it's okay.
And hog didn't mean pig.
That's
in
right.
Hebrew.
They
so.
didn't have English, right?
Yeah.
They stood before Moses, the priest of Eleazar, the leaders in the entire community, at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, "Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not among Korah's followers who gathered against the Lord. Instead, he died because of his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from his clan? Since he had no son, give us property among our father's brothers." Now, if you have a presupposition, misogynistic presupposition, women are dirt, in the Bible, like that's your expectation for that is going to be pretty different than the actual outcome. And that's why I think that this is an important thing to see deep in the past, that God is obviously there for the ladies. Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord answered him, "What Zelophehad's daughters say is correct. You are to give them hereditary property among their father's brothers and transfer their father's inheritance to them. Tell the Israelites, when a man dies without having a son, transfer his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative of his clan."
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're already down to there, just figure it out.
Yeah, just
figure
give it
out
away. Yeah,
whoever.
find someone to give it
find
to. Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. So I always think that that's an interesting thing when it comes up. Now, sure, it's not like I don't know. We do the inheritance so different in the modern age. We don't really split it up. No, the firstborn doesn't get anything special,
Not anymore.
generally, than the rest of them, because there's no expectation that the firstborn takes care of the whole family.
Yeah, I don't know that there ever was. I think the tradition of the firstborn is so you could keep the legacy.
I don't know if it was here.
Because,
I
look,
know in the Roman age.
That's why nobody's got
Yeah.
500 acres anymore.
Yeah. In the first century, it was. I don't know if it is here, though. The paterfamilia, you know what the paterfamilia is? Yeah. There's like this idea of a family patriarch traced to the firstborn, the oldest firstborn.
Yeah.
And,
Well, it's so that the land wouldn't get divided up.
yeah. And yeah, that's right. It stays consistent
Yeah.
in the family and everything. I don't know if it was way back here though. This is
But he did
2,000
have
years
to
before
provide.
that.
He did have to make sure his little brothers became a knight or something.
Yeah, it's
we
something.
gotta get it.
Yeah. Anyways, Lord's taking care of these girls here who didn't have any kind of support system around them. So that's cool. You have anything about that?
No.
No, not at all. You don't care about it.
Yeah, they got the inheritance.
They got the inheritance.
It's
Yeah.
it's not really a big win for the saying, oh, it's not patriarchal, because it still goes to the brother and every or the firstborn
Not a
son.
not like a huge modern win,
No.
but it's you look around in the ancient Near East and it's like a mile ahead of everyone else.
Oh yeah, but how do you even decide what the right thing to do is? I mean, it's just like,
Well, the big thing is that they're taken care of.
yeah.
That's what I'm like.
No,
when I
I'm
look
just
at
saying
it.
it's like you want to judge everybody's culture or what they do,
Yeah.
patriarchy, matriarchy, whatever, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you got as much way to holler about it as anybody else.
So it goes on, and then you get Joshua is commissioned to follow Moses, right? And that's like the leadership order, right? That happens after Moses.
Yeah, well, he keeps telling Moses, you're going to die.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
tells him it like 3 times.
Yep.
Moses, for his credit, never said, I know you've told me 3 times I'm about to die. Yeah.
And he is.
He is about to die.
Yeah,
He's just got a few chapters left.
Well, kind of. He's got
Yeah.
a whole book
I
and
know.
a few chapters, but not much time,
Not much time.
right? Because Deuteronomy is a sermon.
Yeah. Of
all-
him complaining about how sorry everybody was.
So, I mean, that sermon probably lasted multiple days.
Yeah.
Like, that thing was long.
It was long.
Yeah.
And he was like, and another thing, we come up out
And
of the
another
wilderness
thing.
of sin. And you were like, wah, 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 we want some meat. And I was like, man, shut up. God's giving you angel food. And then he gave you the quail and you all died. And me and Aaron had to rescue you. And then you wanted to stone us because we went this other way and there wasn't no water. And you made me sin against the Lord. I got so sick of you. And it's just like, man, Moses was hot.
Yeah.
They
So,
had it coming, though.
There's not much time left between that, though. It's like we're down to some years here. So Joshua's going to become the next leader, and he gets a whole book.
He does.
He gets his own book to describe all the things that he's going to do. And then we're going to get to skip it some chapters here because it's all some rehearsed or repeated sacrifices,
holidays.
all that kind of stuff.
What to put on your calendar.
Why do they repeat that stuff so much, man? And
I don't
going through
know.
Torah, it comes up over and over again. It's the same exact thing.
God must have wanted him to do it.
It must have. Yeah.
He said it a bunch. It's
Yeah.
like, do
Every book.
this.
It's in every book.
It's in
Yeah.
every one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, do this, man. And then the thing is, you get to Judges.
And they don't. They're
and
not
done
doing
none
it.
of it ever.
Maybe that's the point. Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why whenever, who was it? The good king, Josiah.
Yeah.
And they find the book of the Torah in the temple and they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And they read it to him and he's like, oh, we are doomed.
That is such a wild.
He tears his
passage,
robe.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We found this scroll in the temple. We don't know what it is. And it's the Torah.
yeah.
Whoops.
That moment should rewrite like a lot of like history, you
Yeah.
know, about, the assumptions about
Oh,
Judaism
yeah.
and stuff.
It's funny because archaeologically sometimes they dig up a bunch of pagan stuff in
Yeah,
Israel
that's
from
right.
that time period
Yeah.
and they're like, see, they didn't worship Yahweh then. It's like, well, that's what the Bible says. They were like ignoring God the whole. Why
Yeah.
do you think they went into exile and there is no Israel today like there was then?
Yeah. I'm so acquainted with the arguments of some, like I've heard it so much over the years of like the arguments against the scriptures, whatever, like, those kinds of things. You know,
Yeah.
That that worldview, it's so solid in my brain, and like I read stuff in the Bible, I'm like, it is so blind to the reality.
Yeah.
These people have obviously never read the scriptures at all.
Not really. No. They think they know what it's about, but they don't.
There's so much of that when it comes to the Bible.
Yeah.
I think that's the default, is that people think they know what the Bible says.
Yes.
And it doesn't. They don't.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
Christians
is.
do it.
Across the board.
Across the
everyone
board.
does.
People think, if you think that Israel is the good guys in the Bible, you misread the book.
The Israel.
Yeah.
The first Israel wasn't the good guy.
No.
He was awful. He sucked.
He was every
Yeah.
single one of them were bad.
That's right.
That's
They're
the whole
all
point.
bad.
You should read this and go, why is God still helping these
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
He's not joking when he said, if I hadn't left you a remnant, you would have been worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, he's not speaking in hyperbole.
No, there's no hyperbole.
When
here.
Jesus said, if Sodom and Gomorrah could come back to life in the great judgment, they will bear witness against you. Jonah was sent to Nineveh. Jesus said this. Jonah was sent to Nineveh and preached, and they repented. And one is greater than Jonah now, here before you. Nineveh is going to be there in the judgment day, and they're going to bear witness against you. You're so terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some Jews, some in Israel listened.
Some did.
The first ones, the first Christians were.
Yeah. Actually, I think a bunch of Jewish people got saved. It's my personal theory.
I mean, we know they did. Like,
Thousands
there's
of them.
thousands. Yeah.
We know that a lot of priests became obedient to the faith.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much trouble.
Yeah.
That's why it got so bad.
Yeah.
Persecution. Yeah.
Yeah. Thousands
We know
isn't
that the
millions.
Jews got
though.
ran out of Rome over it.
Yeah.
Arguing about Christus. This
Yeah.
is history
Yeah.
outside the Bible.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
But thousands aren't millions.
No.
And so it wasn't major. It wasn't all of them. So anyways, it's just
Well,
so
there's
annoying,
5,000
man.
on one day.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a bunch.
Yeah, it is a bunch.
Yeah.
It's more than I've ever done. So,
If I preached in Albertville, Alabama, and 5,000 dudes got saved in one day, like not this raise your hand and bow your head stuff, but like got regenerated by the power of the Spirit,
Yeah.
the churches wouldn't hold. We don't have enough churches.
no,
People,
we literally don't have enough
we literally
churches.
don't. When everybody's like, we don't need another church, it's like, hey man, if 14% of the population came to Christ and there was an actual, some kind of crazy revival, we could not hold the people that would come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
But that's the stats on new believers and new converts are so much higher in church plants.
Yeah.
Like church plants have the more established church you are, the less converts you make generally.
Yeah.
You start only baptizing children.
Yeah.
At a certain point, and you stop baptizing adults and teenagers, people who are later on in life, like coming to the Lord outside of the walls of the church. But a church plant, the stats are like way higher.
Yeah. In general.
Yeah.
I think what happens is when I would just say it doesn't have to be established. I think when people stop getting saved, people stop getting saved because what happens is you get this dude who all his friends are lost. None of his friends know Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that guy comes to Christ. Who's he going to try to get? Mm-hmm. He's trying to get all his bros.
Yeah.
And he'll get some of them, and those guys will get some. But when that dries up, if everybody in your church is a Christian, all they know is Christians.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know many lost people because
Yeah.
lost people, one, won't establish those long relationships with them because they're annoying.
Yeah.
Christians are annoying, saying they're right and know the way and all that stuff. And so they just don't. And like second generation, they raise them up in Christian school or they raise up with a student ministry and all their buddies are Christianese speaking Christians. And
that's not a bad thing.
no, they just don't know many they just don't know many lost people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think that's what happens.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly.
And then
what
I think when you have like a time where it's like, man, lately we've been baptizing a ton of people. It's like, well, who got saved first?
Yeah. That's right.
Who is he inviting? Who did he bring to church? Drag to church? Who did he make come? He's like, listen, we got some of those in our church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. What's upsetting though is that it's not really true that the rest don't know any non-believers.
No, they don't.
It's not. That's not
it's
true.
not that they don't know them.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. For you to like really have a gospel impact or any kind of impact in somebody's life, generally you have to be something greater than an acquaintance.
Yeah.
You have to be somebody you trust. So like if me and you grew up together on the block, baby, and we get a bunch of mischief together. We ain't no good. We're out here living for the devil. And then I come to Jesus, and you're like, what is going on with him? And like I sit down with you and I'm like, man, listen, we've lived like a bunch of dipsticks, and when you need Jesus, you might listen to me. But if you're just like my coworker down the hall,
Yeah.
I'm just like that annoying guy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm the great
you might
googly
not
moogly
have
guy.
ever had any kind of real friendship because they're not Christians.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You can't go the same places.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to turn that around.
It's hard.
I tell the kids all the time, is like the only people the scriptures ever tell you to avoid are fake Christians.
Fake Christians.
Yeah, that's who they like. The Bible tells Paul tells them like to avoid. It doesn't tell you to avoid.
Man,
non-believers,
I'll tell you. I don't know what this has to do with numbers and sacrifices, but we should talk about it anyway. I think to be a mature Christian, you can't be scared of sin. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about not doing sin in your life, but like get to a place where you don't get freaked out that other people sin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and also know that, like a lot of people are like, I don't want to be a Christian. Even Christians are like, I can't do this thing over here, even though it would be fun. Part of Christian wisdom is realizing that ain't fun.
Yeah.
Like these people who are like, man, we went out last night to the Dipsty Dumpster bar, the Bloody Bucket, and we drank we drank 27 beers, and man, I threw up, and it was so awesome. You're like, what? People do that.
Yeah,
like they talk
that is
about
that
that.
fun.
I know grown-ups who act like that.
Yeah.
And they're actually not having fun. Dear listener, that's not fun. No, man.
No, that's sad.
That's sad.
You're a grown man.
You're a grown man, grown
Oh
woman.
my gosh.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know what true joy is. So I think a part of the barrier to witness to folks is like deep down, some Christians who ain't never gotten any trouble think that's fun still. Think it must be.
It must be fun.
Must be fun.
Yeah. I think there's some weird thing that happens too with perception and like maintaining appearances and not being seen with certain people, doing around certain people and stuff. Like there's stuff there where, it's trying to maintain I don't know if you call it a facade, but it's a perception, a public perception, of
being good?
Yeah, being good.
You want a public profession, a public perception of being good?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think, that happens.
Yeah,
that's very common.
I do not care if people think I'm good.
Yeah.
I do at a level. Like, I don't want people to think I'm a scumbag,
Yeah.
but I'm not performing for anybody.
Yeah.
I just want to be good.
Yeah. That's
and
right.
sometimes being good, people think you're bad. So you got to get over what people think.
That's true. That is actually true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes
It's being a slave to the perceptions of others. Right?
Yeah, you cannot do that. You can't be a Christian and be a slave to the perception of others. You can't do it. You will be a miserable person. Because sometimes you have to say no.
Yeah, because sometimes people want you to be bad.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing that. That's stupid. Like, learn how to use a lane change.
Yeah, I remember around 2000. I don't know. It was right around Instagram when Instagram came out.
Oh,
yeah. Like the most Christian spiritual thing to do when I was in college was to take an Instagram picture with your Bible and coffee, right, and put on.
Oh, wow!
You know that's like that's your spiritual high.
That's what we that was your virtue signal.
It was before anyone knew what that was.
Yeah, we didn't realize what we were doing.
But that was like the most. You'd see it. You'd see a lot of people doing it.
I probably did that. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I would take a picture of that.
Yeah, but that was a very spiritual thing to do, right? And it's all about perception. It's all about and it's actually, it's not the taking a picture of a Bible is wrong. It's like, but why are you doing that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm a little bit coarse on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's not,
I know you are.
It's not. I'm not just trying to be provocative. It's like you got to live normal, man. Like it's okay to like NASCAR or whatever. Like it's okay. Those rednecks.
No, it's not. NASCAR's awful.
It is not. It's okay. I don't like it. I don't like it because I just
think it's boring. Yeah, it's not.
I got into one race one time.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. I was livid about it, man.
Yeah.
I was excited. I was at whose house was this? His daddy was a dog. Man, he loved NASCAR. Phillips. I think his last name was Phillips. And we were watching NASCAR. And I don't know. This has been 20 years easy, maybe 25. And there was a dude winning that race named Dick Trickle. I'm not kidding you.
That's such an unfortunate
It
name.
is really his name.
That's awful.
Google it.
Oh my!
Google
I'm
it.
not.
His name was Dick
Our
Trickle.
internet is out at the church. Actually, I can't.
Okay, so his name was Dick Trickle, and he was winning that race. And
that
I
man
was,
had never won anything in his
No,
life.
he'd never. I was so hardcore for him, and he had
man.
like a blowout or something on like it's 500 laps,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
At the I mean lap 200 is like, hey man, can Dick do it? Is he gonna make it? You know. And then he gets to 300, and he's still winning. I was like, So at like lap 490 something, the dude had a blowout and hadn't finished like fourth or fifth. I was so upset. So I can see it, like, if you somehow became a fan of a guy and like you kind of got it on the background and you're like, oh man, I don't even know any single NASCAR driver anymore.
Is Dale Earnhardt Jr. still do it?
I don't think so. It's like Dale Earnhardt said, you know.
My stepdad loved NASCAR. He watched every Sunday. He watched the race.
A lot of my friends that liked it are mechanic type guys.
Yeah.
And so they were kind of in it for the car. And the engine.
My son loves cars.
There you go.
Lightning McQueen loves cars.
Kachinga?
Yeah.
Or is he Kachow? I can't remember.
He's Kachow. Yeah.
Kachow. The bad guys. Kachinga. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything. It's okay to like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And look, you can't be scared of rednecks with their shirt off, horribly blistered, drank too much Bud Light, cheering about their guys. Like, I love that dude.
Yeah,
I want that guy to know Jesus with his mullet. And tell all his mullet brethren. Like,
That's right.
Dude. And he'll tell it just like
That's
that.
right,
He'll
yeah.
probably still cuss sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. I find myself in the same realm. Like, I don't know many non-believers. Well, I moved to a new town, and I don't know any of the people, and I'm only around church folks because that's my job.
Oh, the pastors knows the least amount.
It is. It really is.
And they definitely, like, I can't, when I'm with my buddies, that, you know, if we're somewhere and I'm with my soldiers or whatever, and we're all talking and everybody's being normal people. It maybe only pastors understand this, but everybody's being normal people. And one of your dipstick friends goes, "This is my pastor," or "This is my chaplain."
It's like
Just like that,
everything's changed.
The whole
Yeah.
thing stops. They don't talk about what they care about anymore.
No.
They're not telling their jokes. They're not.
I know it.
They start apologizing for saying cuss words. It's just so
I try
stupid.
not to. I never tell people I'm a pastor.
Never. Dude, you got to watch out for your haircut. They'll sniff that out. You can't have a evangelist hair or something.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get you a haircut where you don't look like a pastor. Go fly in there like undercover boss. Just be like, you want them, by the time they find out you're a pastor, you want them to think that you're a normal guy.
Yeah. You gotta
By
get
that
over
point. And by normal guy, I don't mean like wicked, sinful person, but just like, I can talk to this guy. He's
That's
not
right.
a weirdo.
Yeah, that's so funny.
He's a weirdo like me.
Yeah, that's a ubiquitous experience for all pastors right there. Man,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Every pastor, if they were listening, would know that moment where he goes, "Oh, this is my," and you're like, "No, don't
Don't do it.
And
Don't
it's like,
say.
this
Don't
is my
say
pastor."
it.
It's like, "Oh no,
I got no chance now.
no chance." He's gonna be like, "Yo, you go down to the
Like the Catholic church.
my grandfather's brother was a pastor, and we go down to that church. I forgot the name of it, and I don't know who pastors there." And,
Let me tell you, every time someone tells me, I ask them what church you go to. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. I was like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you can't remember the name of your church.
I almost got beat up by a Cajun guy one time. Did I ever tell you the story about the time the Cajun guy almost beat me up?
No.
Okay, so this couple comes in. I lived in Catholic country. We were the only Protestant show around. This was back when people would get married in a church.
Yeah,
now you just go to the judge because
the
of gay
barn.
marriage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Go down to the barn, whatever. They come in, and I say, "Look, I'm not marrying you unless you come to church 4 times and you come to marriage counseling 3 times.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was like, man, I was just telling them about Jesus. They come to church 4 times, I'll marry them, whatever. They come in. And by the way, that's not prescriptive. That's just what I did. And so they come in, and I'm talking. I'm like, "So, dude, do you know Jesus?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm a Christian." I was like, "Well, tell me the gospel, whatever." And so he articulates the gospel, and I asked the girl, "You a believer?" She said, "Nope."
She said nope.
She said, "Nope."
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you interested in Jesus? Do you understand what your fiance believes?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am not doing that. Period."
Wow.
And I said, "Well, y'all come back next time. And y'all talk about it." I said, "Because, dude, you can't marry her. If you're going to be a Christian, you got to make a decision one way or the other." I said that right in front of him.
Yeah.
So they come back, and she says she still don't care about being a Christian, whatever. And they were living together, come to find out. And that thing, and I'm like, dude, what? Do you want her to go to hell? Is that like what you want? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you have any concept? You're not really a Christian. So I had to think, and I was like, I can't marry y'all. I'm sorry. Here's some other people that might do it. And I gave them some names. So they left. Man, I got home. That girl's dad called me.
Oh, yeah.
Mad, livid, wanting to make me out back behind the church or whatever. And because he said, my daughter is a Christian. And I said, no, she's not, man. She told me 3 times she wasn't. He goes, well, she went to that church and she walked the aisle and she was 6 years old and she prayed the prayer. I was there. She's about 6 years old. She is a believer. And I said, well, what church do you go to? And the guy goes, First Baptist Church, Plaquemine. And I sat there a minute because that was my church. I was the pastor of that church. And I said, First Baptist Church, Plaquemine. I know that church. I said, you know who the pastor of that church is? He goes, I can't remember his name. And I said, dude, I am the pastor of First Baptist Church, Plaquemine. That's where we were. Like, I don't know you. You ain't never been here, man. What are you talking about? And then he got real contrite after that.
Did he?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think you're a Christian, man. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Never seen you. I've been here 4 years. Isn't life strange?
It is.
That is a true story, by the way.
Stuff like that happens all the time.
I hope you're really a believer out there. Just love the Lord. Come on, people.
Go to church, man.
God, go to church.
If you're a believer and you won't go to church, I don't think you're a believer.
I don't.
It's like one of the very smallest things someone who loves Jesus would do.
Okay, you might be, but you're in sin.
Like, oh yeah, I mean, sure, there's always the you might be, but like the fruit is the stuff, and like, you know, the very smallest thing someone who worships Jesus would do is worship Jesus. You know, like, so you say you worship Jesus, but you don't worship Jesus. What the heck? Like, what in the world is this? You know?
It's like, well, the church is full of hypocrites and people.
Like, and you're the number one.
Oh,
you're
the worst.
The hypocrite of hypocrites, right?
Just go in there, man.
Yeah, like, oh man. Anyways,
find you a church.
We're supposed to be talking about numbers.
Well, we are. We're talking about Baptist numbers.
Yeah,
all our Baptist brethren out there in the swamps.
That is a thing. The Baptist church is like the Southern Baptist Convention. It's a wild thing. Though, anytime you hear the stats on the Southern Baptist Convention, it's like the largest Protestant denomination, and it might be probably is the largest Protestant denomination in the U.S. Mm-hmm. But they'll start quoting numbers. They'll start, what do they say, like 30 million people or something. It is not 30 million people. Not even close. It's like
7 million.
Most churches have. This was our church at First Baptist Pinson. We had 1,000 people at our membership roll. Yeah, we had 300 people in church.
Oh yeah,
average. We had 1,000 after we pared it down. We actually pared it down. It was over. I think it was nearly 2,000 when I first got there. Yeah, it's huge. All these people members. No one goes to church. They're not Christian.
Well, and some of those people were going to a different church, probably.
Oh yeah. And those numbers are doubled. You know,
easily doubled.
Yeah, they don't get removed from the rolls.
Not at New Covenant.
Not at New Covenant. We have more people usually who attend than our members here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because people are scared to join because their pastors are nuts.
Yeah, and mean people.
Mean, tyrannical.
We're tyrants. Yeah.
We're not really.
Hey, if you're listening to this podcast and you go to our church and you're not a member,
what's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you? You should become a member of our church.
You're hurting our feelings, low key.
Hey, membership is not like
and
Sam's
if you
Club.
are a member of our church and you're thinking about leaving, I do take it personally. I think it's my fault.
It probably is your fault.
It probably is.
It's definitely not my fault.
Oh man. Well,
I don't make mistakes.
I know. It's one of the things I treasure about our relationship. Yeah. I am going to die one day. And the older I get, the more I'm looking forward to it. It's like, I'm not saying I'm going to hurt myself. It's like, you know, it's a marathon, man. I'm ready for mile 26.2.
Yeah.
Okay, so they gave a bunch of sacrifices.
They could do the sacrifices. Then they go to war, man.
Go to war.
Midian shows up, okay?
Yeah.
Moses tells them, equip some of your men for war. They will go against Midian to inflict the Lord's vengeance on them. Why are they doing that?
Because Midian, Midian wouldn't let them come through or something, right?
Yeah, it's like
They came out to meet them in war instead of letting them walk through the land.
If you look at like Israel, like on a map, flip over to the back of your Bible, you see the map of Israel and like the patriarchal days. You'll see like the country that we know and love right now, and surrounding it up through the mountains are all these countries that end up getting talked about: Moab, Midian, all that kind of stuff, Edom. And they're trying to get into the land,
Damascus,
but they can't. Well, they're not allowed to walk through the land.
Yeah, they're like, don't come through here. Which you can kind of get it from their point of view. Yeah. It's like, we got 2 million people.
They say stuff. They're like, we're just gonna walk through. We're not gonna, touch your stuff, man.
Like,
yeah,
I don't trust you, man. They're like, we'll pay you for anything we eat or drink or whatever.
It seems like Balaam, the prophet, was from Midian.
Yeah, because that's where he was when he got killed by Israel.
That's right.
Verse 8.
And you have that manuscript variant that supplies that earlier, says
he might have been a Midianite.
Yeah, so anyways, they go to war against Midian. They're going out to fight them. Okay. You're to remain outside the camp for 7 days, all you and your prisoners who have killed a person or touched the dead, or to purify yourselves on the 3rd day and the 7th day. Also, did I start reading the wrong spot?
I don't know. I was just excited about you getting to the part where they killed everybody.
Yeah, I started reading the wrong spot. Where am I supposed to be reading?
31, man.
31. Yeah. So Moses and the priest Eleazar did as the Lord commanded Moses. The captives remaining from the plunder the army had taken totaled bunches of things. Okay, you can read this in your own Bible. It's all the animals, right? Hundreds of thousands of animals.
Yeah.
That seems like a ton of animals.
We skipped a big part.
Did we?
Here's the part.
Okay. I had it highlighted, but it's gone.
You were
now.
right. You can't, for 7 days, ever killed any person. So you're unclean when you kill something and touch something dead. But verse 14, Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the captains of thousands, the captains of hundreds who had come from the service of war. Have you spared all the women?
Oh, yeah. That's the part. Yeah.
Did we just turn off?
No, the air conditioning turned off.
Okay.
And it stopped making noise.
Yeah, it's scary. It says, and Moses said, have you spared all the women? Behold, these caused the sons of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. So the plague was among the congregation of the Lord. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who's known a man intimately. But all the girls who have not known a man intimately, spare for yourself. So they killed all the toddlers, boys.
Yep.
Killed all the toddler boys. They killed all the 14-year-old boys. They killed the 15-year-old boys. They killed every male.
Yeah.
Period.
All the men are gone.
Gone. Babies, gone.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to explain that, how that's good.
Well, God said so.
Look, you went to DTS, man. Yeah. You know everything.
Yeah.
That's Dallas Theological Seminary.
It's still not true.
It's the Harvard of evangelical schools.
That's what they say.
That's what DTS says.
That's what I mean. Yeah. They say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually, DTS doesn't really say stuff like that. They might have back in the day, but they don't.
It's probably the pastors that went there say that.
They probably do.
Yeah. They want to be special.
They were all your professors.
No, mine were all. No, my guys were from. Dr. Black.
Sailhammer was DTS.
Yeah, he was from DTS, but he went to California. He got his degrees in UCLA and stuff.
Okay, a lot of the Southern professors were DTS grads. But anyways, there's a couple of weird things about this.
You got to talk about what do you call it?
It's total war and also incomplete war, though.
Yeah, but what? Not jihad, but it kind of.
I know what you mean. It's not jihad. It's called. It starts with an H. Haram or something. It is holy war. Is the idea? There's a book by Paul Copeland called "God Is Not a Moral Monster." That is really good at this. Good explaining this cultural concept. The thing is like, number one, it is word from God. That's to be obeyed. And so it's not wrong because God said it. That's theologically there,
So if God says kill toddlers, it's okay.
That's right.
How can he do that?
He kills every single human.
He kills everybody.
Everyone dies because of the judgment of God.
Yeah.
And no one is exempt from that, and would it be wrong for you To kill toddlers, yes, right. That's murder, right? If you murdered toddlers, that's why it's murder, right? But if God does it, it is fine.
Yeah.
Because He's in charge of life and death. He gives and takes away.
So you shouldn't shrink back from that, because it's that kind of scary stuff that make people take God seriously.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious.
It is. It is absolutely.
You might hate it, but you need to think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
at one point, God flooded the earth. Even if you think
Yeah.
it's a local flood, whatever, He drowned.
Lots of
He
people
drowned the
died.
babies. There were mamas trying to get their kids to
Yeah.
life safety.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible.
There's a lot of people out there that when they experience lost a loved one. I had a friend like this in college who his grandmother died. His grandmother basically raised him.
Yeah.
He didn't like his parents at all, and she died right before he left for college, and he hated God because of that. Why would you let me let? He told me one time we were at my bachelor party.
Oh.
We were drinking High Life, Miller High Life. My bad. Not drunk. We were just having a good time. And we were having theological conversations.
As one does
as
at
one
one's
does.
bachelor party.
Yeah, it was my bachelor party. So
Yeah.
we do what I want on that night.
That's right.
After we bowled and stuff. And he told me about how much he hates God because of that he would never be a Christian because if God was real and He'd cause him that kind of pain.
Oh, yeah.
And so loss was like this pain that he couldn't reconcile a good God for. Like pain in general, he couldn't reconcile that God would be good if He caused him pain.
Yep.
But that is, I've realized, so backwards.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's really hard to talk to somebody there because you become the lightning rod for God.
Oh, that's
you
right.
become
Yeah.
God's. They can't get to God, so they'll get to you.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say back then. I didn't. Tell
Well,
nothing.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
there's much you can say,
Yeah.
but it's like I like to say things like, "Why did you have your grandmother at all?"
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
Like the fact that you had. So you have. I'm not belittling your loss. She was probably a wonderful person who filled your heart with love and made you feel accepted when your parents were turds, and so she was this beacon of hope and light and love. So she was extraordinary. She was extraordinary. And God gave you this extraordinary person. And they can't stay here forever.
yeah,
And now she's gone, hopefully to be with God. So basically, what if you had never known her?
that's right.
Then you would have no loss. That's
Yeah.
the way God could take away the pain. You don't get her. You have to be stuck with your crappy parents. Would
Yeah.
that be better?
Like no,
No, that's not better.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
it's what Shakespeare says. It's better to love than lost and never have loved
It's
at
so
all.
true. Yeah.
Sometimes the pain of loss makes you think that God is bad for taking it away, but then you got to ask the question: well, was He bad when He gave it?
That's right.
Yeah.
The reason I brought that is that you mentioned that what you said something about pain, or you said something about gosh, what did you say?
No, I said you can't shrink away from that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't remember what you said, but it made me think about that now. My mind just went.
When you listen back,
brain
you'll be like,
fart.
"Oh, that
Yeah,
was
yeah, that's what he
profound.
said,
Way to
yeah.
go, Brad."
But what I was thinking about is like that pain is a revealer of what you love, right?
Yeah.
Like when it shows you what is wonderful. And so if you've never experienced any of like pain of loss, well, you've never really loved anything, right? And so just experiencing pain shouldn't be your go-to for why God couldn't exist, right? Like if the answer is like you never experienced pain, therefore God can exist in this world, how it's set up with death and loss and all these kinds of things, then you've never loved anything.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, I mean that's kind of different than what we're talking about here, killing babies and stuff. But
Well, my point is like if you look at this and you're like, oh, like this is the reason I don't believe in God because He could kill children.
yeah, when every time you sit in judgment on God, if I were God, I would have done this better.
Yeah,
That is folly. It's folly.
yeah,
You don't know why God's doing what He does.
yeah,
In fact, your moment of atheism and deep pain could have been on purpose. So that later, when you come out of your dark night of your soul, you might look back and go, God was right. It's good that I went through that.
yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff people go through that when they come out on the other side, He's like, would you change it? And you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I would. I
Yeah.
mean, like, maybe I would love to wave that away with a magic wand, but if I did, I would not be the man I am today. And I couldn't do the things that I do now. I wouldn't have learned the discipline of God.
Yeah.
And that is,
Yeah.
in Hebrews, it says, do not despise the discipline of God, my son. When he disciplines you, he treats you as children.
Yeah.
And it's real easy to talk about that for somebody else.
It is. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But you, just so you know, nobody's getting out of this life without that whooping.
No, you're not getting out of this life without pain, man. So
No.
your expectation is like, pain, or so I either have no pain or I get and have God, or I have pain and therefore God can't exist.
Yeah.
It's like craziness.
When
to
you
me.
get to places like this, man, I have
because my point is like, you still have pain.
you still have pain.
Like it's still there.
No,
Like
and
you've
now
not eliminated your pain by defiance to God. That's my
No.
point.
And I don't even think when people say that they're actually mad at God. I mean, they might be, but man, they want an answer from God.
Yeah. They want to know the why.
In that guy's particular situation, the person who loved them's gone, and they need that void of love filled. And they know subconsciously, maybe, especially if they're actually a believer and they're just talking trash about God, which you can do, by the way. They need that void filled by God, but they don't want to ask him because he's the one that took the one away that used to fill that void.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like disciplining your child.
Yeah.
There's this weird, you discipline your child. Sometimes they're mad at you. You go sit in timeout. Sit in timeout. How dare you whack your brother with this toy or whatever, your kid did. And they go sit in the corner and they're mad at you. They're mad. There's a moment after it. Most kids sometimes, don't always, they kind of realize they did what's wrong. And they got this little bit where they're kind of ignoring you.
Yeah.
And they're mad at you. And you kind of go over there and you're like, hey, and they're don't want to talk to you, and they're like, and then they'll give you a hug.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry. That's a good moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so some people's little hug God moment takes a few years.
It does. It does.
But buddy, that's a good time.
Yeah.
When that comes back. And I think that moments like this where we have these holy wars, these crusades where God kills everybody.
Well,
He tells
but
them to kill
that's the
everybody.
thing. Is like it tells them to kill everyone, and it says they kill everyone,
Yeah.
but we know they don't.
No,
And
we know they don't.
That's a weird thing. But it's a literary thing. It's like it's a literature thing.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, they whipped and killed all the Midianites, and then you get to like Judges, and it's
And
like,
there's
and the
Midianites.
Midianites came over. And it's
Yeah.
like, where did those guys come from?
Because they didn't actually kill them.
They
all.
didn't actually kill them all.
It's a way. It's that book I told you about, Paul Copeland. God's Not a Moral Monster. He's kind of showing you like that. There's a way to talk about holy war, and the Bible uses that way to talk about it. And this is how it's talked about. Kill everyone: the women, the children, the cats, the dogs, the sheep, the goats. And the actual historical execution of that is that they don't.
They don't. But the other thing is, I want to say, just literally, the point is for this to be a massive speed bump. You're supposed to stop and go, what?
Yeah.
And think about God.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't blow by it. If you just think to yourself, okay, fine, God killed all the toddlers and all the women who'd ever had a husband. I'm okay with that. You're kind of a weirdo a little bit if
Yeah.
you've never worked it out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, well, what? Like,
Yeah.
how is this okay? Is this just Israel doing what they want and they're justifying it in the name of their God like every other dirty person in the world? Or do we have to think about God a little differently? And if God will put people to the sword, what will he do to me if I sin? What's he going to do to Israel?
That's right.
Yeah,
The wages of sin are still death.
death.
Like that's a thing, and
Yeah.
there's no innocence.
It is the thing.
Yeah. There's no innocence. The thing we talk about a lot with the students when stuff like this gets brought up is the conception. Well, if you've come to something like this and you got these objections, like about fairness, you got objections about innocence, like they're children, got objections about, what is right and that you want to put it to God, say like God did something wrong, then there's likely an improper image of God and the situation behind that.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of God, you're thinking of the world like this house that's on fire, full of like kittens.
Yeah.
And a fireman comes in and he needs to save the kittens, right? And that's what the gospel, that's what God is. God's like this fireman who comes in and he is obligated, as you would be, to say, well, you can put children in there or something, you know?
Yeah.
And he's obligated to save the children. He can't just leave children in there to burn, right? That would be morally wrong for you as a fireman to do that. And you have the ability to get them out and you don't. That is not the actual world. That's a incorrect, misconception about what the world is like. Because the truth is the world is like this house that's on fire. And it's filled with people who love putting the house on fire.
Yeah, they're setting it on fire.
Yeah.
And they refuse to leave.
They refuse to leave. They keep on lighting fires.
Yeah.
Anytime anyone
they're
tries to put it
they're
back.
setting other people on fire.
Setting people on fire.
Yeah.
And enjoying it. Right. And of course refuse to leave the house that's on fire that they've set on fire. That's the actual world.
In fact, so much so they refuse to leave the house. They put you in danger of burning in there.
Yeah.
When you try to help
That's
them.
right. A better way to think about the world is to think of God as king, who's in charge, who is responsible. Right? You want a king who's responsible. You guys want a president of the United States who's responsible and does right by his people and upholds justice and protects the nation, all this kind of stuff. You want a king to do the same thing, right? And yet we have a world full of rebels and enemies of the king. What would the responsible good king do?
Get rid of the rebels.
Yes, put the rebellion down and destroy the wolves among the sheep, right?
Yeah, save us from them.
That's right. And that is what death is, that is God putting down the wolves.
Yeah. Another thing is, you're kind of caught thinking, this is the only world you've known, and so this is the only world there is.
Yeah.
But if, like, literally this world is fake compared to the next one, I don't want to say fake.
Yeah.
But the reality is heaven. The reality is the spiritual realm in which God resides.
Yeah.
We're here for a blip.
Yeah.
You're there forever.
It's a perspective
this
change.
place is a shadow.
Yeah. Do you really believe in heaven?
Yeah. Do you believe so? Like
Yeah.
if So if you think, man, God killed all these people, well, yeah, but they just popped over
Yeah.
into eternity.
Yeah.
And like some of them may have gone to heaven. Like Balaam may have went right up.
He might
like,
have,
He
yeah.
might have been like, "Oh, don't kill me!" And then
children?
the Israelite
I mean,
guy
yeah.
runs him through,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, that was." He's scared to death,
Yeah.
and it's terrible. And then he wakes up, and God's like, "Balaam, welcome home, bud.
Yeah.
I had to put you to the sword because you was running around acting like a fool, man. You kept trying to curse my people." And he's like, "Oh, this place is great."
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Loss is, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to, when you lose a loved one, it's supposed to hurt. If it didn't hurt,
Yeah.
you're weird.
But they're
okay?
popping over.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Have some perspective, especially when you're looking at the Bible and seeing the loss of people in the Bible, like people dying in the Bible. Have some perspective about what's actually happened, about eternity, about how long people are here and what is at stake. Have perspective about what this world is like, and it ain't that great.
No. It's a little bit like going through a haunted house, man. Like,
I think that, let me finish with this,
Yeah.
and you go ahead. I think the people that have the most objection to the death of people in the Bible from God are people who don't believe in heaven. So if it's a Christian that's saying, like, I can't reconcile this to God,
Yeah.
it's like, you don't believe in eternity
yeah.
with God. You don't.
Or you haven't thought very much about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
or the judgment of God.
Yeah.
Or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you need to think about it.
Yeah.
But like
Go
for
ahead.
the Christian, this is like a haunted house, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like things jump out and scare you, like, oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh no, I'm sick. Oh no, oh no. But there's like behind the mask is just like, it's not a real chainsaw, and the dude is just like Frank that works at the fire department, who's your neighbor. It's when the mask is off, it's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when you're a Christian, that's what death is. It's jumping out at you with a chainsaw, and it's got a Jason hockey mask on, but on the other side, it's like that was Frank at the fire station, man.
Yeah.
It can't hurt you.
Yeah.
You're going to heaven.
That's right.
And it can't really take away your life because
To
it's
live
eternal.
is Christ, to die is gain,
Yeah.
is what Paul says. In
Yeah,
Philippians.
and Wesley, the Dread Pirate Roberts said that that life is pain, and
Yeah.
anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something.
That's right. So, anyways, you have this is going to happen a lot. It's good to
Yeah.
bring it up now. It's going to happen a lot as they invade the land of Canaan, and they put it to Midian. Midian's defeated. They end up with all the cattle and everything. So many cattle and sheep and stuff. Are those like realistic numbers? I don't know anything about animals and stuff.
I guess the numbers in Hebrew are weird because it's like letters of the alphabet, but like
Yeah.
675,000 sheep. Goodness gracious!
Is that a lot of sheep?
I mean, I got like 22.
I don't have internet right. Maybe I have internet now.
I know that it would take. Let's say there were 700,000 sheep. It would take 100,000 acres to keep them fed, minimum. And in the desert, it'd be more than that.
Our internet at the church is still out. I tried to ask the internet how many sheep are in the United States. Oh, I think it's working.
Oh,
Slow. Golly. What is going on with the Albertville internet?
I don't know, man.
It's bad.
Mine's crushing at my house now. I got AT&T
You got fiber.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll probably call it there with I'm going to look into these numbers, though.
I'm going to ask in Australia because,
Yeah.
like, Australia has a bunch of sheep.
Are they big sheep eaters?
They eat a lot of sheep. They got 79.1 million.
Yeah, maybe that's a reasonable amount of sheep.
Yeah. How many sheep in USA? Let's see. Oh. What? No. USA, not ESA. Oops.
What is that?
I don't know. A typo. That's what that was. 5 million. So look how many more sheep those Australians got than us.
Why do they have more sheep than us?
Because we don't eat sheep.
Yeah, we don't. We eat beef.
You look up England, they got sheep running everywhere.
Do they? So I guess that might be a reasonable amount of sheep. I don't know. But out of all of the sheep, God only got 675 of them.
I know. Why?
As a tribute to the Lord. Because I guess that's just what it took to feed the priests.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, it says in verse 37.
Lord's levy of the sheep was 675. That's interesting.
Well,
It's
all
like
right, everyone.
1,000th.
If today's podcast sucked, sorry. We'll do better next
It's my
time.
fault, as everything is.
Just take responsibility.
Yeah,
Be a leader.
That's
Yeah.
me.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. And maybe we'll be able to finish numbers next week. I think we're getting close.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. We'll see you guys.